Hello and welcome to the 2024 season of Main Stage Productions here at the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm TA Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life adventures using the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, cosmic horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write an adventure for others to play. We'd like to thank Sirenscape, whose tools have helped provide the background sounds that you'd hear. And we'd also like to thank Dungeon Fog for supporting tonight's game by providing map assets and tools which bring the game to life on the Roll20 virtual tabletop. And if you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. With one of their party missing, they placate the bricklayer who tells them the sad tale of how he discovered the body of Reverend Collins. The two remaining investigators scour the church for answers, as it seems the death and the fog are connected. In the vestry, a hidden manuscript seemingly penned by one of the Knights Templar reveals information about a battle with a dangerous entity who was then buried in the church. Seeking answers in the bell tower, they see a pattern in the mist which seems to be building strength to overflow from Hammersmith into the very heart of London. Now, it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Hammersmith Haunted. This fantastic book from Cat Clay. We're moving into it now. We have discovered possibly the source of the fog, as you might have heard in the recap. Before we start, let's of course say thank you to Sirenscape for these wonderful sounds you're going to be hearing in tonight's performance. We then say thanks to Roll20, who's our tabletop solution, our virtual tabletop solution, where we roll our dice, have our handouts and everything like that. And of course, Dungeon Fog, who's helped create these maps that you're seeing. And it's just a preview of what's going to be available in the Hammersmith Haunting Roll20 edition. So let's meet our investigators. So ladies first.
Hi everybody, I'm Lydia and I'm playing Darian Sterling, who is extremely confused about this very unnatural fog.
And I'm TA Newman, and I'm playing Kirk McDougal, who is not only an occult specialist, savant extraordinaire, but seems to have a strange desire to look further into this mysterious woman. Perhaps publish something on her. There's a growing obsession, one might say.
Growing obsession. And these two investigators find themselves in a bell tower of a church, in danger of falling down because there's been some subsidence. As you think about your loved ones, think about the danger that this fog prevents. Crossing that Hammersmith Bridge, fog does know no bounds. What is your plan? You seem to be in a unique position to maybe know the cause of the fog, maybe even prevent it. Isn't that what the Priory Club's all about? Isn't that what the members stand for? Investigate and take corrective action. There's an opportunity here for fine investigators such as yourselves. Maybe make a difference. What would you like to do?
How fast do you think that thing is travelling, Kirk?
Well, the fog?
Yes, fog.
I think it's probably keep it with my poor spot hidden rolls and my inability to really see what's going on. Do I have any sense of how fast I think the fog is travelling in and out in this tide-like fashion?
If you would like to give me some kind of natural world roll, Kirk.
Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. That would be a 70 over 10.
Marvellous. It's fog. I mean, if it's moving, surely it would have gone over, the Hammersmith Bridge already.
Well, it's
It was
fog,
moving. So
Darian.
obviously you're not getting something because, well, it's not working the way fog's supposed to work, is it?
I'm not really sure what you're asking me, Darian. I mean, if it's fog. I mean, it's not just sitting there, which is unusual. It appears to be forward and backward, which is rather bizarre. As you say, like the ocean tides. But
What I'm getting at, Kirk, is that thing might cover the whole of London by morning.
oh, I see. Right.
There must be people you're worried about. There's certainly people I'm worried about. We have to stop this.
Yes.
And this is what you don't understand, Kirk. You failed your natural world roll, so obviously you don't understand fog because you know it hasn't passed the Hammersmith Bridge. So your knowledge of fog must be completely off.
I'm not sure I understand, Darian. Please don't misunderstand this as stupidity or ignorance. As the fog passed the bridge, the Hammersmith Bridge we came in on, there didn't appear to be any fog on the way in. But as soon as we got past the bridge and we were in Hammersmith, you see where I'm going with this, Darian?
Yes. So you think it might be limited then to the neighbourhood, almost perhaps anchored somehow?
Yes, anchored. Oftentimes with hauntings or spectral appearances, which I'm not saying this is what this is, but sometimes it can happen. You have these localized events. They are centered around something, and I think this church, this hole in the ground, might well be where we are looking for this, the anchor, shall we say, to this centralized event. Let's go and get Smithy. Let's go and have a look at this little hole in the ground, shall we?
Yes, let's do that, and perhaps another armful of candles.
Yes, perhaps. Good idea.
Good. You make your way downstairs, and indeed, the bricklayer is waiting. He's a little on edge. You heard somebody fall down the stairs a little. Oh, you're right there, you two. I heard some, disturbances upstairs. I thought maybe... I thought maybe the fog had got you or something. I didn't hear your friend knock on the door, I'm afraid. I didn't snooze off or anything like that. I was right awake when you fell down those stairs. It was quite a start for me, so...
It was quite a startle to me, Smithy. Did you making some fun here, or is this just babbling commentary?
No respect, sir, but it's sort of like... don't worry about it. Are we ready to go outside? Are we going to have a look at this hole?
Yes, we are. Unfortunately, and I hope Dr. Marquette will understand when we find her that we're having to reassess our priorities. This hole and this fog really has to be our focus right now.
Goodness. Well, I'm sure they're fine. Maybe they made it back down to the pub, or
yes, absolutely.
Run into Ethel. That would be unfortunate. But
we've met Ethel already.
Oh right. I mean, she's a lovely lovely lady, and cousins. So outside then, folks.
Please,
yes, let's.
Now, and he walks you to the door, opens it, and he says, I'm going to lock up unless you need anything else in here. I'll just lock it up. Is that all right?
Is there anything else we need? I think we probably got everything we have. Oh, unless there's any kind of crypt entrance here. There's no cellar, nothing like that?
No, I don't. No, it's just a single story.
Right. Yes, I think we've learned all we can here then. What do you think?
Picked up. Sorry, just out of character for a second.
Mm-hmm.
We picked up, didn't we? We have with us the iron crypt key, the note that we found, and the piece of Latin, which obviously we've studied and read a number of times. The note said, under these uncovered these in the building site, must verify these findings with the colleagues at the Priory Club. Could be quite the sensation if it's true, which is obviously from our friend the vicar. The Latin we've read, the key we have. I don't think there's anything else we need to take with us. I could be wrong.
So you haven't noticed any kind of door to which that key fits at the moment.
Well, I would guess if we haven't found a cellar door or a crypt door here, then it's probably like an either outside door or maybe it's in an outbuilding, a standalone mausoleum, standalone crypt.
But because of the damp, Darian, as well, we surmised that there was potentially a building beneath the building foundation.
Yes,
If
of course.
the hole would lead to that, then perhaps that's where the iron key leads us.
Yes, of course. Good thinking.
Never know.
Well, lead on.
And lead on he does. Are you superstitious folk, or do you want to take the direct route?
I'm somewhat superstitious.
Oh, well, okay. Well, should we skip the graveyard, sir, and go round clockwise, or do you want to go anti-clockwise round the North Tower? If you're superstitious like.
Well, I wasn't superstitious until tonight.
Let's go. Keep it safe, keep it simple. Let's go superstitious clockwise, doubling our efforts, but quadrupling our safety.
Very well.
Very well, sir. Okay. And you step out of the church back into the fog, the mist. It feels different. You had that glimpse up in the clock tower of normality, of what air should be. This doesn't feel right, and so I'm going to ask you for power rolls, please. Let's see if we can get a big X next to Kirk's name for a third time.
What?
Okay. Darian, what was your power roll?
That was a regular success of 33 against 45.
Right. Kirk, let me just get my pencil out and a piece of paper here. What was your power roll?
I was a 45 over a 40, so a failure, I'm afraid.
Another failure for Kirk. For you, Kirk, though, this fog is comforting. You're starting to get used to its presence. It's a wonder of nature. You were thinking, how could this fog not escape beyond the barriers of the Hammersmith Bridge? It's got to be something. Of course. It's like a dripping tap. Eventually, it will overflow once it has enough power to be able to sweep forward across London. Maybe Kirk. This is what you were reading all those books for. Maybe this is the power and the influence you're after. Maybe you need to write that book about this Diaphrith. Research more.
Maybe about it.
Grimoire. I mean, it was just a coincidence that when you read this grimoire, your mother died. Maybe you'll get it right this time. Not that you got it wrong last time, but maybe you'll understand more. It seems, as you round the church, passing the the vestry window, you happen upon this hole in the ground. Well, here we are then, folks. I've shown the hole. I'm going to skedaddle if it's all right with you, because, well, you know, I'm not going to be able to get any work done whilst you're there, because I don't want to fill you in whilst you're down there, but... Hold on. Are you going down there? Sorry, I assumed you were going to have a look for your doctor down there.
Yes, I think we are indeed, as you say, going down there.
Oh,
Have you been down there, Smithy?
God, no, sir. I don't want to do that. It's a hole in the ground. I mean, if you go down there, you might just get mucky and stuff like that. It might just be a bit of subsidence and that. But what you were saying earlier, there is something down there. I don't want to go down there. It'll be all horrible and that. Like I say, is it okay if I get off now?
No, Smithy, you're a part of this. You're one of us. You're one of the gang. Smithy, if we were going down there, how would we do it safely?
Well, I mean, I've got some rope over there for a pulley. I mean, actually, I've probably got a bit of a Yeah, now you're asking, actually, sir. Yeah. We've got like this tripod thing where we like hoist it up and we can get it up to the things.
Tell you what, Smithy, you've proven you're a man of skills. You get yourself over here with your little pulley and your ropes and your bits and your bobs, and I'll make sure it's worth your while, eh? Couple of pennies.
Oh, well, all right then, sir. And he scurries around. He gets the pulleys off the wooden scaffolding that runs up the side of the bell tower. And this is, as he's progressing, rigging up these things, I'll have a spot hidden from everyone if you would like.
Okay.
Okay. Darian, what was your role?
That was a success of 29 against 55. I think things are changing tonight.
Marvellous. Kirk, you're not trying hard enough. That 66 over 25 isn't anywhere near a fumble like last time.
Yeah, that's right. I need to try harder.
Try harder to fumble in when you're near the open hole leading into a possible underground carriage. Darian, this is rather disturbing. Now you're down on the ground, you can see that there are dead trees. Trees. If you'd have just found this as itself, you would dismiss it. Now you're putting all the pieces together. There are dead trees in a almost circle, with the center point being this hole. It's as though rot has escaped, infected these trees.
Okay. It's like a focus. It's like the center point of drawing a compass or something. I think the fog might have come from this hole, Kirk. Do you see the trees? Dead. It's I don't know, maybe some sort of like a fungus or like a disease or something?
I'm not convinced the fog can come from a hole in the ground. No, it's a natural phenomena. This closer to the water. Or is that mist and fog? I get the confused as to which is which. One is more water-based and one is more land succulent.
Well, of course, our smoke here is a mixture of the natural foggy mist and the coal fire smoke. That's what gives us our lovely yellow pea supers here.
And the smog you can cut with a bloody knife, but this fog you've mentioned
this is not like that. Although I think this is somewhat more dangerous.
Can we see, Keeper? Can we see fog coming out of the hole?
You can't.
Well, if the fog...
You can see the fog around, and now you're aware of it. See the tides in the fog. But you're able to see the fog curling around the building as it heads away from the church.
I would argue, Darian, that we can't see the fog coming from this hole. We can see the unusual behavior of the tides washing in and out. But there is almost a sentience to this fog. You see how it's moving around buildings? It's as if it's searching and
Yes.
scraping and
Yes.
somewhat unnerving.
Perhaps the fog is her. What did that Latin say? That they brought the body back of this woman, this Diafrith, was that her name? They brought the body back, and somewhere holy. This is a church. What if the Templars built this church on top of a tomb? Maybe this was where she was entombed.
Maybe.
And now something has happened, and she's got out. I don't know. Subsidence, an earthquake, somebody digging up for the underground line.
They
Who
locked her
knows?
dying body away in a coffin without the last rites.
Yes.
Our leader was called to bring her body to England, the sacred ground blessed by one who is favourable to our cause.
Yes, the Templars in Hammersmith. This must be it. This hole, and she somehow got out, and I think the fog is her.
I see what you're saying. An extension of her mystical powers. This Dialith. Yes.
This castle of mist.
This beautiful woman.
Yes.
Yes.
There is a hole.
We need to get down into this hole.
We really do. Do you think you can make it down the rope after your little tumble?
Oh,
you all right?
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me. If it's an importance of this nature, I will stick it out, and I will seek out some medication upon our return.
Good man. I shall be doing the same.
Right then, folks. Who would like to go down first? I mean, once you get in there, you should be all right because we've been filling in the hole a bit, but so it's not going to be like a steep drop. But it's pretty dodgy down there, so mind your step. Who wants the rope first?
Yeah. I'll go first.
Go ahead, and perhaps I could throw you down a candle. If you give me the candle, I can throw it down to you after you're there.
Yeah. Sounds like an idea.
Good. I'm going to be asking you for a climb roll, Kirk, but please make it with a bonus dice.
Climb roll? With a bonus die? Oh, it's 8 points away. Let's have a look at the bonus die.
Let's see.
Oh, that's 18 versus
Fantastic.
20. That is a success.
Please describe how Kirk managed to, you're getting pretty dirty down here, but you push all the stuff out of the way. How do you descend this slope down into the darkness? What are you feeling as you push your way down?
I think Kirk's kind of approach here and his approach, his successful approach, is based around the fact that he's not that bothered about his clothes and his fashion in this sense. He is so excited and drawn to the idea of Dialith and this, seeing this beautiful woman, seeing this powerful person who is controlling these fogs, this entity, this proof of everything that he's been doing and writing about, and he knows that this is real. It's just a matter of finding his way to this person. So there's an element of some safety aspects being ignored, but just sliding down this muddy tunnel.
There we go. Darian, Kirk has made it down. Are you going down, sir, or are you going to wait up here for your friend? He seemed very eager to get down there.
Oh, I shall be following on closely behind. Again, let me give you my candles, and then when I'm down there, if you could just drop them down, and here's a box of matches as well.
Oh, got some lucifers over here. Okay, great.
Thank you. Very kind.
Okay. Please, Darian, make a climb roll with a bonus dice.
Okay, here we go. He has a climb of 40. Oh no, that was a 91 against 40, but let's see what the bonus dice does for me. That would still be a failure of 81 against 40, even with a bonus.
Not great at all.
Not
It
great.
seems that Kirk has disturbed too much ground, and whilst your acceleration is somewhat diminished by the rope you are holding, it's still a bit of a bumpy ride, so you're going to take a point of damage as you stumble into the ground, and there are some candles rolled down after you, and you have your box of matches. Are you lighting the candles?
Definitely. I'd be lighting a candle.
I'm holding my candle out towards Darian.
Oh, thank you very much. And he uses the candle to light the other one.
Candles illuminate and flicker somewhat. The damp is heavy in the air as dank water drips down the walls of the crypt. Mushrooms illuminate a wall of painted frescoes. You walk around, 2 candles looking. These are knights from an older time. They're engaged in a fight with a woman dressed in gold with a veil, medieval dress. Progress further down. Air is thick. It has been breathed for quite some time. Around the edges of this painting, a watchful Christian god holds his protective hand above the knights who pierce the woman with a spear. Now, as you move in, part of the fresco has collapsed, but something else is meant to be on the wall. Your light illuminates and you feel around, and there is missing blocks of the fresco littered on the floor. If you'd like to give me an intelligence test, you might just be able to figure out which blocks go where.
Okay.
Kirk was never one for jigsaws. What was your score, Kirk?
That would be 77 over 60.
Nah, dear. How about Darian? Are you any good at jigsaws?
Apparently so. 52 against 70.
Okay. You put the pieces of the puzzle back, push them back in, and roughly hold it. You're not entirely sure everything has been rearranged correctly, because what it appears to be is the figure of a woman, but there is some kind of tall other figure. But this can't be right, because as you put the blocks back together, it appears to just have a giant tongue for its head. Some kind of mistake, surely. Maybe artistic license. And anybody got any Cthulhu mythos? If you would like to roll it. If not, we'll have a sanity test, please, because this is very, very odd, blasphemous, satanic. And Darian, what was your score?
That was a sound roll for Darian because Lydia has a much higher Cthulhu mythos score than Darian does. So that was a failure of 72 against 39.
This sends shivers down your spine. Please lose a point of sanity. You don't know what demon this is. It's to do with the diaphragm. But this is something very, very strange. Kirk, what was your sanity?
Having no Cthulhu mythos, he's rolled sanity, and that's 25 versus 35, so a success.
Success. You look upon this fine rendering of some kind of demon. Maybe this book is going to be fantastic. Is this diaphragm? in reverence, of equal standing? You're not entirely sure. Do you want to give me an occult roll? You've seen paintings like this before? Yes, that's a hard success. This painting doesn't look like reverence. Reverence in these paintings of demons worshipping other demons or deities. This seems more of an equal standing, but not so much. There is a diminished, and with that hard success you realise, yes, this reminds you of paintings you've seen in tombs of the pharaohs, where the pharaoh stands tall on one side, but the daughter of the pharaoh stands on another. Equal footing, but diminished. This reminds you very much of this demon and this female figure standing next to them. You move in further, and the story unfolds. Who wants to give me a history roll as you look upon these frescoes?
Oh, history, if I remember correctly, is very much my bag.
Mm-hmm. I might as well try, but I've only got base 5.
I'm going to push my roll, please, Keeper.
Please push your roll indeed. Let's see what you can do.
Because I rolled a 97 over 60, but history, he's drawing a blank, but there is a reality there. How would I push this roll? What would be the action that I'd do? Is it about getting closer to the frescoes? Is it about standing over the unsteady stones and broken imagery to get over there?
I think this is a very dangerous dig site.
Yeah.
I probably think you need to maybe look, if you stand on that a little collection of stones there, maybe you can get a little bit higher.
Okay, I've stood on the very dangerous collection of stones. I don't think I've stood on a very stable set of stones here. I've rolled an 84 over 60.
You have. Down he goes again. Please give me a dexterity roll. See which bad foot you land on. The good bad foot or the bad foot.
This is an investigator who's died by clumsiness. Oh, for God's sake. 81 over 45 on dexterity.
Codger has really hurt himself. Now, it is going to be another point of damage.
No, it was a pushed roll. It's only fair that Kirk eventually dies of clumsiness.
Oh, I think possibly something chasing you might catch you first, as I'm going to reduce your movement rate down another point.
Okay.
Your ankle really hurts. If you had to move anywhere quickly, you wouldn't particularly be in any great rush, shall we say. But Kirk, you do fall down to the ground and you see more. You dust away. You haven't got any archaeology skill, but this is raw. This is history. This is you making a discovery. This is going to be part of your book. It tells the story of what looks to be, well, you're not entirely sure when this period is set, but they do appear to be Knights Templar. You're not entirely sure. There is a woman in the flickering candlelight, wearing a veil and wimple, yet beneath her skin it's been painted the palest shade of white. You move down, you're almost crawling across the floor with this history that's unfurling for you. You see, the woman is killed and placed in a locked coffin, and then guarded by these knights, holding their swords and tunics. You might be onto something. Could well indeed be the Knights Templar. There is this eerie glow, this slime now, as you move towards, and literally it's like a scene of discovery as you piece together this fresco, this story, this person who is killed and locked in the coffin, guarded by knights. You come up by a coffin of, well, you've seen occult artifacts before.
Dust on the coffin, sorry.
Dust on the coffin.
It's very dusty down here.
The room has this coffin. And you recognize the stone immediately as a cult stone of power. It's obsidian. Well, you notice, Darian, as you begin to place torches around, that the coffin lid has been pushed off and lies open. It's a lot to take in. Let me give you a visual reference. Let's take you over to Roll20, and I shall place you on the wonderful crypts created in Dungeon Folk. So there we go. So you have progressed down this hallway, and you found this fresco, and you found this room, except whilst the map shows these statues are not there. There are places where they would have been. And whilst the map shows you where the coffin and bones would be, this is only where they would have been. They aren't currently there at the moment. What you face is an empty coffin. Only centuries of scraps of clothing lie within, which look like the remnants of, well, what the women in the fresco wore. And it seems like, well, somebody without any great skill has pushed, driven this stone away. And if I could get a Latin roll for somebody, there is some kind of inscription. Who would like to read it?
Job for Kirk McDougal.
Definitely. Darian doesn't have any other languages. And while that roll is going on, can I check, when you say that the coffin lid has been pushed off, does that look like it's been pushed off from the outside, or like are there scrapings or maybe some tools lying around or anything else that might give us a clue?
Okay, if you'd like to give me a spot hidden, that would be great. And
Okay.
Kirk, how was your Latin roll?
Not great. It was an 84 over 55. So once again, Kirk is so enamored with this story and the desire to possibly meet this Diaphrith. How can I push the roll keeper?
You'd probably need to get closer to the coffin.
Oh, I'm going to
breathe the air. What is the secret being held from you?
To the point I could even be getting on the coffin.
Getting on the coffin.
Let's push that roll. That's just not good enough. It's a 77 over 55.
It's not a fumble, Kirk. We want higher numbers for a fumble.
I don't have.
But it is a pushed roll for a fumble. And Kirk, God, you just keep injuring yourself as you read this. It's something to do with somebody vanquished, some salvation, but it's not in a positive light. You don't think whoever was in here was saved. Not entirely sure, but as you step down from the coffin, that leg goes down again, and I'm going to take another point of damage for you as this ankle is going to go at some point. You're going to really need a good rub. Give me a constitution roll. Let's see how much damage. Let's see if...
hard success.
Hard constitution. You do shake it up. You do walk it off. It doesn't stiffen up on you. And your movement rate
Twisted my ankle, Darian. It twisted my bloody ankle again.
Your movement rate remains the same.
It's very low, so that's good.
This is a war of attrition between you and your ankles.
I
Certainly
just I feel like I'm giving so much physically to find out what's going on here, and yet I feel like I'm failing you, Darian.
No, not at all. Not at all. We're in this together. We're going to do this together.
It is,
well,
quite the task facing you.
I don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to do it, but we'll do it together.
yeah.
Darian,
quite like.
did you have a spot hidden roll for me?
I do indeed. But that is a failure of 73 against 55. I think maybe he looked into the candle flame or something, and now he's got
Not so
purple
much
spots in front
that.
of his eyes.
You notice something on the ground just as Kirk steps down and snaps this bone. What does ping up, though, very odd, is a button. It's a button. You know, you usually, possibly stitched on a waistcoat or something like that.
Okay.
Made of bone.
Made of bone. Using my 40 in fashion design, what can I tell about this button? Is it from a working man, like a bricklayer?
Mm-hmm.
Is it from maybe a middle-class person, like a curate, or somebody else? Is it modern? Is it old?
Okay, because you're not in any kind of great hurry, your life doesn't depend on finding out the button. As Kirk is exploring this, you're able to examine it in the candlelight. This button is handmade. The bone isn't the greatest of quality. You have a look and think, well, possibly it's many layers of thin bone. It seems to suggest rodent bones, something along those lines.
The creepy old rat bone man.
But it's fairly well done. It seems to indicate the craftsman has some intelligence about them. He's very dedicated to it. But if there were better materials available, maybe this person could make better products. And, if they are a craftsman, they would strive to make these better products because obviously your reputation in fashion, if you have those good, yet still having that little bit of je ne sais quoi about you. It's a bit of a boon in the trade. So
Okay.
there we go. So let's cross back over to the Roll20 scene. Could you ping me where you would like to have a look and see what we can find in here?
Where would we have entered from, Cosmic?
Okay, so you came down this part here.
Yeah.
And you've come in, you've followed the fresco around this Knight's Temple, and you've got this glowing green, slimy type mushroom sort of stuff, and then there's this entrance in here, and there is this thick dampness in the air. You're not entirely sure whether, the building size doesn't seem to indicate this great depth. So maybe whatever came out of that coffin has something to do with this dampness.
And that Templar cross on the floor, is that a mosaic?
This is part of the fresco you've been
Part of the fresco,
at.
right.
Yeah. So you've been
Okay.
piecing back pieces of the puzzle
I see.
sort of in this area and putting that back together.
This
Right.
coffin that Kirk is assuming is Diaphrith's coffin. I think he's going to do some further investigation on that. There was the remnants of clothes. I think he's looking for. There was talk of a spear. So I think he's that's one of the things he's looking for, but it's more general about the actual coffin, looking for any details, any effigies, any iconography, anything within that kind of occult realm that he thinks might give him more understanding of who Diaphrith is.
Okay then. Because you're looking at this and you're taking your time, just like Darian was taking their time with their fashion roll, you have history, occult, something along those lines?
Yeah. I've got history and occult.
Yeah. What level is your history and occult? Which is the
history
best
is
of
at 60, occult is 55.
Excellent, excellent. Combining these skills together, looking at this scene, you're able to search for, and you just dust things away. You can see there is some kind of possible mark inside the coffin, as though something's been driven here with great force. Now, maybe if the frescoes are correct, this person was buried with the spear still impaled. Maybe that is of help. And you look around, and, after all these many hundreds of years, there is a small part of what you assume could be a part of the spear. The arrowhead is long, rusted down, but you still have something. It might be of some use. A relic
I
from
will pick
this.
that up. I will pick that up. I'm going to keep that on me. I'll show it to Darian as well. I'll say, Darian, I think this might be the remnants of the spearhead.
Spearhead?
My word. So, why isn't it in her anymore? Do you think it just fell out through natural decomposition? It just sort of fell through, but is there a hole underneath the coffin, or do you think somebody removed it? Here, look what I found. This button. It's it's fairly well made, but I think it's rat bone.
Rat bone?
Yes.
Did Smithy mention something about a rat man or something earlier on?
Creepy old rat bone man.
Creepy
Top
old rat bone man.
Top points.
Oh, bugger. So what are we suspecting the creepy old rat bone man of coming down here and removing this spearhead?
Well, it seems very odd, don't you think?
I do.
If only we knew who he was. But if
So
he's
also-
in league with this foggy woman...
Diaphragm.
Yes, Diaphragm.
Remember
Who
what
knows?
this person collects.
He collects rodent bones.
But if he wanted to up his game,
My word. You think he's making bones? Making things out of bones? Human bones? Or Diaphragm bones?
Oh, bugger.
Bugger is right. We have to find him. We have to find him and get the bones back, if indeed that's what he's done.
He's removed the body or parts of the body of Diaphragm from the tomb. He has released her. Do we know where we might find him? The pub? With the pub? Was that where Smithy said he might be? He mentioned we must have seen him at the pub. I remember him saying it and thinking what an absolute bloody fool Smithy is, but he might be right.
Well, it's a good place to start, isn't it? Should we just see if there's anything else we can see inside the coffin? Can we try and push this
Quite right.
lid off a little? Then at least we'd know what we're looking for. I mean, maybe she's missing an arm or a leg, or
the
God, even
body
her
has
skull.
been completely removed.
There's only remnants of clothes left, isn't
Only
there?
remnants of clothes. You can see an outline of where the skeleton would be, as indicated on the Roll20 map. But certainly, if there was a body here, it's not here anymore. And this button, now you look at the coffin, you can see it's possibly been moved quite recently. What would you like to do? Sounds like you have a suspect.
Darian, I
do.
think we need to get a wriggle on and see if we can catch this rat bone man.
Definitely. I mean, this is more than just avant-garde fashion design, isn't it? If he'd have just taken a finger or two, that's all he was looking to do, was to make something out of it, but the whole skeleton seems very suspicious.
What I call funny bones. We need to get an eye on this chap. See what they've got.
Very
All right. Now we hunt the creepy old rat bone man.
Okay, what would you like to do, folks? You are looking around. You have explored let's jump back to the Roll20 map. You have explored the entranceway. You have come in. You have had a look at the frescoes over here, and you've discovered the body over here. Where and how would you like to progress? Would you like to exit this tomb, or do something else? Do some more exploration? How would you like to progress your hunt for the rat man?
I suppose it's... You go, sorry.
No, not at all. I just it feels like we've got this lead and we're about to go gung-ho chasing after them, but perhaps there is more to discover here.
I'm wondering if there's some kind of second entrance, because we have this key, but we haven't found what the key unlocks.
Exactly. Could we, before we attempt to leave, Keeper, give this place a once over? And as much as that might be a spot hidden, it might be, and I'm pushing my luck here as a player rather than as an investigator, Keeper, it might be thinking historically, with certain hidden chambers like this, was it historically accurate that there would be hidden rooms or hidden locations or secret access? You know, he's thinking about the Egyptians and how they were buried with their personal possessions or secrets or servants, or and rather than a spot hidden, is thinking through the history, the logic behind why and how you would lock things away with you when you pass over.
Certainly. I mean, Kirk, you find yourself in quite the opposite situation. Usually when you're searching for something, you're looking for the entrance, and it could be absolutely anywhere. You find yourself in a unique position of trying to find the exit from a tomb. Now, it could be that if the knights kept this location secret, this hallowed ground, and then a spare bit of hallowed ground was found and a church was built on top of it, then the exit to the original structure may lead to something in the church. Not entirely sure what, but certainly if they built the church on top of the exit to the tomb, you might find yourself back in the church.
Can we get a sense in terms of the direction of the corridor and whether we've turned left or right, etc.?
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
thinking about where the hole was. Can we get a sense of where we are in relation to the church with it above us now?
Yeah. The altar end of the church and heading up to the bell tower is pretty much directly above the coffin site. Moving down into the fresco hall, this is going to be under the altar, and moving towards the back. As you move in this direction, away from the entrance, you find an uphill slope. And in this dark, dank candlelight, you see a door. Bit of searching, seems to have found a crypt door.
Does our key look like it fits this door, if it is indeed locked?
It does. I mean, it's a very old key, but a very sturdy key.
All right,
well,
after you, Darian.
Let's see what we've got here, shall we? And he unlocks the door with the crypt key.
Fantastic. I'm going to ask you for a lockpick roll. This isn't a pass or fail. It's just the closest skill we have to how you deal with locks.
Okay. He's just got the 1 on locksmith.
Well, there we go.
That's a 42 against 1 failure.
As I say, it's not a pass or fail. It is just it's 40% better than a 80%.
Darian, you sure you don't want me to have a little pop at that? I've got a little bit of a skill, shall we say, in such a, well, what is considered to be a bit of a devious habit there.
Ah, my goodness. Well, you kept that one quiet. Absolutely. Please be my guest. Tell you what, give me your candle. I'll let you make sure the dog can see the rabbit, eh?
Very good, very good. And then as I'm trying, I'll just kind of say, yeah, my grandmother used to lock certain drawers with candies in them, and she used to keep me out of certain rooms, so I had to learn how to find my own way through. And pop! There we go.
Excellent. You
Well done.
use your skill to unlock. Very carefully, there was a danger this key could in actual fact break. And you pull open this door slowly. And I would like a sanity check from both of you as you are swamped by a number of rats who come pouring out of the door. Now, Darian, these are some rats. We have disturbed them quite impolitely. If you step out of the way, I'm sure they would just run away as scared as they are. We say sorry to the little blighters later. You're absolutely fine. Kirk, there's rats all over you.
Precious
Oh my
babies.
God, get them off, get them off, get them off. What would you like to do, Kirk?
I literally dropped to the floor. I'm rolling around on the floor, just like, get these bloody things off me, bloody disease-infected monstrosities. And I'm like grabbing them off and like throwing them at the wall.
Oh dear, dear. Darian, would you like to assist, or is Kirk going to...
Don't just keep still. They're much more frightened of you than you are of them. Now, just don't do that. Oh, please don't do that. Please
I
don't.
feel much more frightened of them than they are of me in this moment.
Just keep still, man.
Darian,
They'll go. All they want is to leave.
Darian is remonstrating with you, Kirk. Are you going to stay still, or are you going to fight these little blighters off?
I think with the failure of the sanity roll, he's fighting them off. I don't think he's got the mental capacity to stay still and have
They
them
did
picked off him.
pour all over you as soon as you open this door. Please, could you give me a fighting brawl then, to see whether or not you can get these rats off of you.
Fighting. Oh, here we go.
If you go over to the combat tab, you can. Dear, what is your roll?
That is a 74 over 35.
Oh, dear. Kirk, these things are nipping you. It is painful and ouch. You're going to take a point of damage.
Oh, my
from
word.
these. How are you doing on your hit point score,
I am
Kirk?
now on half of my original health.
Hit points. Goodness me. You step up, battered, bruised. Darian, do you look approvingly at his action, or are you slightly more, less charitable?
So slightly less charitable. These poor little ratties. They just wanted to get out of this horrible big giant blundering into their house.
Swarmed,
really?
I was.
No, you swarmed. That's what you were doing, flinging your arms about like some kind of, I don't know. You brought it on yourself.
Any ill will to any animal, but you're literally choosing the side of a swarm of rats over a person. What's wrong with you, Darian?
Well, they've got a right to live as much as the rest of us. Just if you'd have just stayed still, they wouldn't have.
They attacked me.
Well, they were panicking. They were frightened. I'm sure I'd be frightened.
I was frightened. I was panicking.
My room in the middle of the night somewhere.
Kirk, this is the kind of thinking that simple people would have over more advanced people who are able to see the threat from what it is. There's a discord here between yourself and Darian. Darian doesn't get it. It's a situation of discovery, and these things are getting in your way. Darian wants to take them home and pet them. There's a bit of silence between the two of you, I would suggest, as you're confronted by, well, you're not entirely sure what it is. It could be a wall, it could be something. All you know is you open this door and it's in your way. What would you like to do?
So this is after the door we've opened.
You've opened the door and it kind of like ends in the ceiling, walls, something along those lines.
Where did the rats come from? Is there like a hole? Is there a sort of a tunnel? Is there an obvious gap?
Looking around with your candle, you think they just came under whatever it is above. So, there's dirt here. This is, a well-built mausoleum, tomb, whatever, what have you. But, there is a route in stopped by this door. So this was as far as they could. It was a gap, a nice, comfortable gap. If you want to give me a natural world roll, Darian, I might think of something else.
I shall indeed. I shall make the natural world roll, and he'll also kind
Have
of
a bonus
rap
die on
on it too.
Okay.
And let's see. He's very discomforted because that was a 95 against 40.
If you want to take a bonus die on that one.
Yes, please. I shall. That's a 55 against 40, which is still, unfortunately, a failure.
A failure. You're not entirely sure why these rats would be burrowing into the ground. You're not entirely sure what they were running away from. You're not entirely sure why they chose to push themselves under this floor and stay here and hide. You're not entirely sure what could possibly cause that kind of reaction from these animals. Do you want to remove this obstacle in your way, or are you going to head out the other way, thinking this is a dead end?
Rapping on it with knuckles. Is there a sound of hollow? Is there a sound of, is this solid stone? Any clues?
Okay, give me an intelligence check. Let's have a see. I can't say this is a situation Darian has possibly found themselves in before.
No. That was an extreme success. 4 against 70.
But it is very familiar to you. You know the sound of marble. You know the sound and the depth of it. You're pretty sure if you gave this a nice heave-ho, you would probably find yourself coming out roughly with that extreme intelligence check in the floor, maybe in the aisle of the church. It's definitely, this is part of the church and it's a discovery. This is a good thing to find out. Maybe the builders can use this to perhaps fill in this area if need be. But a good heave-ho should be able to get you free if you want to use this exit.
Well, Kirk, are you feeling quite recovered enough for a bit of brutality against this poor innocent slab of marble?
Absolutely. Let's bloody go for it. I want to find out where this leads to.
Excellent.
Yes.
I'm going to need a strength check. Who would like to give it a push and who would like to assist?
What's Kirk's strength like?
Not great. I feel like you're probably out for this, old boy. With a 35, I feel like I might be flagging some.
Yes, indeed. Darian has 60.
Excellent. Ooh. Darian, you get barely a bonus dice with that 35 assistance from Kirk, but any help is worthwhile. Yeah, give it a good push.
Okay. He steps back and he puts both his hands against the marble and he tenses all his muscles. And he's like, heave ho! And he shoves it as hard as he possibly can.
Marvellous. Give me that strength roll. Oh!
I didn't even need the bonus, but I'm going to roll it anyway, just in case. Because that was an extreme success, 4 against 60. But let's see. No, it would have been 4 either way.
There we go, Darian. You take a little bit of this anger, this frustration, and with, before Kirk can even help you, he's not going to be much help. Give it a push and delicately maneuver it to the side without having to smash it. You can feel it. You move it to one side, and indeed, let me jump you back across to the church, and you come up. Let's jump over to roll 20. Clear that out of the way. You come up roughly about here. So not quite where you expected, but you do come out roughly by the organ. So you are inside the church. You step into the church and bring your candles up. It is quiet again. There's a little bit easier to breathe in here, but you remember that mist from earlier. There's a presence in here. Now remind me, did you lock up the church, or did the bricklayer lock up the church?
I think we had Smithy lock up the church, didn't we?
Yeah, we told him to shut the door behind him when he went, if I remember rightly. I don't know if we shut the door of the bell tower. I would imagine so. If we'd have thought to tell Smithy to do that, then we probably would also have closed the door that we were going through.
Very well. And you find yourself in a locked church. You've come through a hidden crypt via a door. But now you seem to be further away from the exit than ever before. What would you like to do?
Damn it, still no sign of Dr. Marquette.
Doctor is not down here.
I think we probably need to get down to the pub, don't we, and find this rat-bound man.
Yes.
First of all, you need to exit to the church.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did we see as we were walking any other sort of community buildings other than the pub? Anywhere else that people might be gathered?
I don't think so, but I do remember Smithy saying, having been at the pub, you must have met the...
Ah, yes.
That bone man. So
yes, you're quite right. Yes.
I feel like I either missed him or we ships in the night, but that is where we'll find them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's in one of the upstairs rooms.
Yeah, maybe.
So, your plans?
I suppose. Yeah. Go looking for the creepy old rat bone man.
So, we'll fast forward a bit and you are breaking down the door to the church, or are you going to go back out the way you came?
Oh, because it's locked from the outside.
Oh, he's locked us
from
in.
the outside. That's why I asked whether you had.
Good point.
Indeed.
I guess we'll have to go back through, back down, back out, up the hole, get the rope, back out into the graveyard, and then on the way to the pub. Robert, your father's brother.
Well, as you do that, what do you say to Smithy as you emerge from the hole? As the gong strikes, reminding us we are approaching the end of Act 4.
Darian?
Mr. Smith, do you think perhaps you could lend us that church key? If we need to beat a hasty retreat, I really don't think I fancy going via the catacombs and the hole again.
Oh, all right then. Why? What makes you think that? He hands you over the key.
Well, who knows?
What did you find down there?
Nothing of interest, Smithy. Nothing too interesting. Property of the church, eh?
Oh, right. Okay. I thought. Okay. Right. Yeah. No. I mean, it's all right to fill it in then.
Oh no, not yet. Just in case.
Yes, I'd
Dr.
leave it for the
Marquette
moment.
comes back and.
All right,
Yes.
well, I just don't want that old geezer, going in looking for rats and stuff like that. I heard some squeaking. He'll be down there and he'll have all sorts out of there. if I
Did
don't
you
fill
see
it
the
in.
rat bone man person? And they're looking at the going down there. You tell them that we said they can't go down there, and that if they want access, they have to come and speak to us. And we've gone to find them at the pub.
I don't need to find him at the pub. And it's at this chilling moment a number of factors come into play. Oh, he lives over there. And it's at that point when the mist seems to follow the direction that Smithy points to. And that's where we will leave Act 4 of the Hammersmith Haunting, folks. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Thank you very much, of course, to Sirenscape for the wonderful, creepy sounds that you've been enjoying. Thank you to Roll20, whose wonderful tabletop system we've been using to show you the maps and the dice rolls, and of course Dungeon Fog, who've been tools have been used to create these fantastic maps. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us for Act 4 of the Hammersmith Haunting by Cat Clay. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please leave a review wherever you've watched or listened to this production. And if you'd like to support us further, please take a look at our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, and our website, miskatonicplayhouse.com. You can find us on all social media platforms with links found in the show notes. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.